It's midnight. I'm Anita Wu and you're watching Nightline. The headlines. Media Prima Sri Pentas gets special royal visit. Our headlining story. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Hajah Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandariah paid a visit to Media Prima Berhad Group's headquarters, Sri Pentas in Bandar Utama, Petaling Jaya on Wednesday morning. The King and Queen also gave a pleasant surprise to viewers of TV3's Buletin Utama by presenting the news in a special Royal Bulletin segment which aired at 8 p.m. Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tunku Azizah arrived at Sri Pentas at about 10:30 a.m. and were welcomed by MPB Group Chairman Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Hussein Al-Junaid and MPB Group Managing Director Rafiq Razali. Also present were the New Straits Times Press Malaysia Berhad, NSTP Group Managing Editor Dato' Ahmad Zaini Kamaruzaman and MPB Television Networks and Primeworks Studios Chief Executive Officer Nini Yusof and the rest of Media Prima senior management team. During their 3-hour visit, the royal couple received a comprehensive briefing on the group's operations and were treated to an exclusive tour of the facilities of Media Prima Audio, which houses the group's 5 radio stations, namely Hot FM, Cool 101, Molek FM, Fly FM and 8 FM. The King and Queen also spent some time on air chatting with Hot FM radio announcers before getting a first-hand look at Media Prima news and editorial operations, including its state-of-the-art news studios. Upon their arrival at Studio A, Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tunku Azizah graciously participated in presenting the news in a recorded segment for Buletin Utama. Their Majesties also perused souvenirs showcasing in-depth coverage of the royal couple provided by Berita Harian and Harian Metro. Before leaving, Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tunku Azizah also participated in a photo session as well as mingled with Media Prima employees. Meanwhile, the Media Prima leadership viewed the visit as recognition for the group's important role in the Malaysian media landscape and its commitment to delivering quality content through its various media platforms.
Bagi pihak Media Prima, kami menjunjung kasih ke atas ke bawah duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong dan juga Raja Permaisuri Agong yang telah mencemaduli melawat kami di Sri Pentas. Dan bagi rakan-rakan di sini hari ini adalah hari bersejarah kerana ini adalah kali pertama Yang di-Pertuan Agong mencemaduli melawat Sri Pentas.
Kita menjunjung kasih kepada tuanku kerana sudi berangkat ke Media Prima dan peluang untuk staf-staf Media Prima dapat bermesra dengan tuanku.
Kami sebagai warga kerja Media Prima TV Network sangat terhutang budi, very grateful kerana tuanku dan permaisuri sudi melawat Sri Pentas. Tahun ini lagi special kerana tahun ini TV3 akan menyambut ulang tahun ke-40. Jadi lawatan ini sangat bermakna.
Water tariff rates will be increased by 22 sen per cubic metre from February 1st for domestic users in Peninsular Malaysia and the Federal Territory of Labuan. The National Water Services Commission, SPAN, said that the adjustment is under the tariff setting mechanism, TSM. SPAN, in a statement on Wednesday, said that the increase is still low and will be unable to cover the cost of providing water, which is RM1.75 per cubic metre based on 2022 records. To minimise the impact on monthly water bills, state water supply operators were advised to continue providing targeted assistance to domestic users. It also stressed that the move was necessary and could not be deferred to avoid jeopardising long-term sustainability of the water service industry. SPAN added that it is crucial that tariff adjustments reflect the cost of water supply to ensure operators deliver quality water by enhancing service levels. Through the tariff review, water operators will be more prepared to make continuous investments to develop the infrastructure of the water supply system, which includes construction or upgrading of water treatment plants and replacing of old pipes. SPAN also said that the increase will allow for water operators to carry out regular maintenance and dealing with complaints more efficiently to ensure the continuity of water supply services and meet user expectations at the same time. SPAN also called on users to practice prudent water use, including using water-efficient products under its water-efficient product labelling scheme, repairing any leaking pipes and faucets in their respective premises, as well as using recycled water as an alternative source for non-drinking purposes. Meanwhile, Fomcaf welcomed the new water tariff rates as they have remained unchanged for the last 30 years. Its CEO, Saravanan Thambirazha, told Nightline that the adjustment is crucial for water supply operators to make continuous investments to improve water supply services and infrastructure.
Definitely now, due to cost increase in treatment of water, there will a lot of upgrades need to be done, especially the old pipes, all the old loji rawatan which need to be upgraded due to things are getting old, and of course the depreciation of the machines and so on. And we hope that
Saravanan also said that the move can improve the level of service in continuously supplying quality water to the people. He also hoped that the government would assist the B40 group to help cushion the impact of the increase if needed. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and 31 ministers are attending the Unity Government Cabinet Members Retreat 2024 in Cyberjaya. The retreat, held on Wednesday and Thursday, also sees the attendance of 15 special guests. Anwar, who is also Finance Minister, arrived for the retreat at 2:40 p.m. and was received by Chief Secretary to the Government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, and Public Service Department Director General, Datuk Sri Wan Ahmad Dahlan Abdul Aziz. Also present were Deputy Prime Ministers Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof. The holding of the retreat is in line with the Prime Minister's desire to deliver his mandate to all Cabinet members and top civil servants regarding the government's direction and strategy for this year and in the medium and long term. The retreat is aimed at achieving alignment of objectives and creating a sense of joint ownership and unity among Cabinet members on the government's integrated and comprehensive action plans based on the whole of government and whole of nation concept. Among the subjects of discussion are economic challenges and direction, social welfare and security, infrastructure development and sustainability, governance, innovation and communications towards the country's prosperity. The government is committed to overcome the issue of the shortage of workers in the plantation sector. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said this sector is important because it has a huge export value reaching 200 billion ringgit. He added if the issue is not overcome, it will affect the country's economy. Johari said that during his meeting with Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail. At the meeting, he also provided input on appropriate solution methods. Johari also stressed that the issue requires specific attention compared to other sectors because the plantation sector needs specialisation to handle it. Two Malaysians have pleaded guilty to being accessories in the 2002 Bali bombing after being held at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba since 2006. According to a report by the New York Times on Wednesday, Muhammad Farid Amin, 48, and Muhammad Nazir Lep, 47, were charged in 2021, 18 years after they were held in Thailand. The sentencing is expected to take place next week. Both of them were held for years in the secretive overseas network of the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. In 2006, they were transferred to Guantanamo Bay to face trial in a special security court, which was set up by former US President George W. Bush after the September 11, 2001 attack. The media previously reported the possibility of Nazir and Farid being sent back to Malaysia after completing their sentences. The report does not rule the possibility of them being allowed to serve any remaining sentence and rehabilitation in Malaysia. Part-time event management consultant Muhammad Safiq Rosli, who was charged with repeatedly harassing a female photographer, has been ordered by the Shah Alam Magistrates Court to be sent to Hospital Bahagia Ulu Kinta in Perak. This after Magistrate Sasha Diana Sabtu on Wednesday found the 38-year-old man was of unsound mind and did not realise that his actions were against the law when he committed the offences. In making the ruling, Sasha Diana said the prosecution had successfully proven that Safiq had repeatedly stalked the victim, Akasia Mardiana Daud, as per his charge in August last year. However, the defence had also successfully proven that the accused was of unsound mind under Section 84 of the Penal Code, and as such he was acquitted and discharged. The court also ordered for Shafiq to be placed in a safe place and detained at the pleasure of the Sultan of Selangor under Section 348 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Earlier, Akasia, who testified virtually as the prosecution witness, told the court that she experienced severe trauma and feared for her life due to Shafiq's constant stalking and harassment. The defence witness, consultant forensic psychiatrist Dr. Ian Lloyd Anthony, later testified that the accused was suffering from schizophrenia and his mental disorder was serious, including being obsessed and having delusions that the victim was in love with him. Shafiq is the first individual in the country to be charged with stalking under Section 507A(1) of the Penal Code, which came into effect in May last year.
In Selangor, a Lance Corporal was charged in the Ampang Sessions Court with raping an underage Uzbekistan girl inside a police patrol car while still on duty last week. Muhammad Fazrul Razi Yunus was also charged with committing unnatural sex, carnal intercourse against the order of nature and sexual assault against the 17-year-old victim in Ampang on January 9th.
The father of two pleaded not guilty to all offences when the charges were read before Sessions Court Judge Nurshila Kamaruddin on Wednesday. The offence falls under the Penal Code and the Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017. The 31-year-old accused is facing a maximum 30 years imprisonment and whipping upon conviction. The accused has also been asked not to disturb the witness and report himself at the nearest police station. The court fixed 20,000 ringgit bail for all charges and fixed March 12th for mention. Meanwhile, Fazrul, along with his partner in service, Constable Muhammad Adib Aikal Sharul Nizam, also claimed trial to extortion charges. The duo allegedly extorted 500 ringgit from the victim and her boyfriend, threatening to spread their intimate video. They were charged under the Penal Code, which carries a maximum of 10 years jail, a fine or whipping upon conviction. Magistrate Amalina Basira Mattop set 4,000 ringgit bail for each of the accused.
3 Malaysian women have earned a spot on the recently unveiled Forbes' 50 over 50 Asia 2024 list, which features 50 inspirational women over the age of 50 from across the Asia-Pacific region. According to Forbes, the women of the third annual list hail from 14 countries and territories, encompassing over 24 work sectors, including fashion, pharmaceuticals and finance.
Among them is Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC Secretariat Executive Director, 65-year-old Tan Sri Dr. Rebecca Fatima Star Maria. She was appointed to the post in 2019 and is the first woman to lead the 21-member Intergovernmental Economic Advisory Body. Also on the list is prominent lawyer and human rights advocate, 67-year-old Dato' Ambiga Srinivasan, who had earned the Ruth Bader Ginsburg Medal of Honor and the Gandhi Memorial Trust Public Service Award. A founding member of the Women's Aid Organization, she now serves as president of the Pure Life Society, a charitable home for orphans and the underprivileged. Also making the list is 57-year-old Tunku Munariza Tunku Khalid, a film director and founder of Current Pictures, who won Most Promising Director for Redha at the Malaysia Film Festival 2017. Inspired by a true story, the film depicts the challenges of raising an autistic child and was selected as the country's entry for Best Foreign Language Film at the 89th Academy Awards.
Up next on Nightline, over 20 people killed in fireworks factory explosion. News from the foreign front when we return. Stay tuned. We're back with news on the foreign front. The Zionist regime stepped up its assault on Khan Yunis in southern Gaza on Wednesday, pushing tanks westwards and prompting accusations from Jordan that its field hospital in the city had been badly damaged by nearby shelling. The Israeli forces were reported to have heavily bombed and shelled Khan Yunis overnight, levelling dozens of homes and killing at least 23 Palestinians, while brutal raids across the occupied West Bank claimed the lives of 9 Palestinians. According to Gaza's health ministry, at least 163 Palestinians were killed by the Zionist regime in the last 24 hours, with 350 others left wounded. Meanwhile, Qatar and France have brokered a separate deal with Israel and Hamas to deliver urgent medication to some 45 Israeli hostages held by the group in Gaza in return for humanitarian and medical aid for the most vulnerable civilians. The aid left Qatar for Egypt on Wednesday and was due to be taken across the Rafah border crossing. In the meantime, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said on Wednesday that parties to the conflict in Gaza were trampling on international law and urged them to implement an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Guterres said the warring parties were ignoring international law, trampling on the Geneva Conventions, and even violating the United Nations Charter.
The world is standing by as civilians, mostly women and children, are killed, maimed, bombarded, forced from their homes and denied access to humanitarian aid. I repeat my call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza and a process that leads to sustained peace for Israelis and Palestinians based on a two-state solution. That is the only way to stem the suffering and prevent a spillover that could send the entire region up in flames.
Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and the cabinet members on Wednesday signed a special postcard addressed to Guterres. The Prime Minister said that the special postcard was to express the wishes of Malaysians by urging the UN to accept Palestine as a member state. In a Facebook post, Anwar mentioned that this was also aimed at conveying the demands of Malaysians for an immediate cessation of violence and cruelty against the Palestinian people by the Zionist regime. He also hoped that the people's voices would get serious attention from Guterres. The special postcard would be submitted through Malaysia's permanent representative to the UN. He also said that Malaysians can participate in the campaign to send special postcards to the UN Secretary-General by purchasing the postcards from any post office at RM2 each starting Thursday. Palestine is currently recognized only as a non-member observer state by the UN, a status granted by the organization's General Assembly on November 29, 2012. An explosion at a fireworks factory in central Thailand killed at least 20 people on Wednesday, though the devastation at the scene has made the death toll uncertain. The blast took place at about 3 p.m. local time in a remote area in the province of Suphanburi, about 120 kilometers north of the capital, Bangkok. Police said the fire around the area had been put out and that rescue workers and forensic officers were working to retrieve human remains from and around the demolished factory. There was no indication of what may have caused the explosion, but officials were investigating what may have triggered the incident. Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin was briefed on the explosion while he was at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, and ordered an urgent investigation to see if the explosion was caused by negligence. Over in Germany, freezing rain in central and southern parts of the country grounded hundreds of flights and restricted train traffic on Wednesday as the weather service warned of slippery roads and heavy snowfall. At Frankfurt Airport, 570 of the 1,047 scheduled arrivals and departures were cancelled, while 254 flights were scratched at Munich Airport, and a smaller airport in the southern city of Saarbrücken ceased operations completely. The country's rail operator also informed of delays and cancellations in view of the winter weather. The weather service, in the meantime, warned of an extreme risk of black ice and heavy snowfall in the affected regions through Thursday. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is facing a major parliamentary showdown on Wednesday over his plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda, with some of his lawmakers threatening to rebel after they lost an initial bid to toughen the proposed law. Lawmakers are due to vote on a bill that aims to overcome a UK Supreme Court block on the Rwanda plan, a day after some 60 members of Sunak's governing Conservatives rebelled in an effort to make the legislation tougher. The dissent also cost Sunak two-party deputy chairman, who quit in order to vote against the government on the amendments. If around 30 of the rebels carry out their threat, Sunak will be handed a humiliating defeat, potentially sparking yet another Tory leadership contest or a general election within weeks. Last November, the UK Supreme Court declared the policy unlawful, and Sunak hopes the new legislation, when passed, will override legal concerns and fulfill his pledge to stop people arriving across the channel in small boats. Back with sports news now. The AFC Asian Cup. China suffered another draw at the competition after being held goalless by Lebanon in the second match of Group A on Wednesday. Both teams had a few chances in the match but missed them all. Lebanon came close to opening the scoring in the stoppage time of the first half, but Hassan Ali Matouk's shot from outside the box hit the crossbar. Lebanese side hit the woodwork again in the 52nd minute, this time by Hassan Basim Surur, while Boulet's close-range shot in the 65th minute was cleared off the line. After two consecutive draws, China needs at least a point against the defending champion Qatar to have a chance of advancing to the knockout stage.
In another match, Saudi Arabia came from behind to meet Oman 2-1 in their Group F opener. Oman took the lead in the 14th minute when Salah Said Salim Al-Yahyi converted a penalty following a foul on Mohsin Saleh Abdullah Ali Al-Ghassani in the box. Saudi Arabia were the better side in the second half, and after missing a couple of chances, Abdurrahman Abdullah Gharib equalised in the 78th minute, dribbling past four Oman defenders before calmly slotting the ball home. The Sauds completed the comeback in stoppage time when Al-Ali Hadi Mohammed Al-Bulaihi headed home a set piece. The victory takes Saudi Arabia level on 3 points with Thailand. Meanwhile, Superchai scored twice to help Thailand secure a 2-0 victory over Kyrgyzstan in the Group F opener on Tuesday. Superchai gave Thailand the lead in the 26th minute after converting a rebound following a curling grounder by Borden Pala. The 25-year-old then netted his second goal 3 minutes after the interval with another tap-in as Kyrgyzstan struggled to deal with a cross. The win saw Thailand becoming the first Southeast Asian team to clinch 3 points in the tournament so far.
Coming up after this short break, syndicate raking in 2.5 million ringgit crippled. Don't go away.
It's very scary.
Welcome back. An engineer on Wednesday pleaded not guilty at the Butterworth Magistrates Court in Pulau Pinang to driving under the influence of alcohol and causing the death of 2 teachers in December last year. Teo Ju Leong, 47, claimed trial when the charge was read out to him before Magistrate Siti Zulaika Nordin alias Ghani. Teo was charged with driving with a blood alcohol level exceeding the permitted limit, causing the death of Fakul Rozi Fauzi, 31, and Ahsan Ayub, 32, at Jalan Pematang Baru at about 2:30 a.m. on December 16, 2023. He was charged under the Road Transport Act 1987, which carries a jail term of 10 to 15 years and a fine of up to 100,000 ringgit upon conviction. The court set bail at 8,000 ringgit with 1 shorty and fixed March 7th for the submission of documents. Over in Pulau Pinang, a syndicate involved in promoting and operating online gambling activities was uncovered through 2 police raids, dubbed Ops Dadu, in the state on Tuesday. The syndicate was capable of generating profits of up to 2.5 million ringgit.
State Police Chief Datuk Kau Kok Chin said in the first raid in Jelutong at 10:45 a.m, 4 men and 5 women, all aged between 23 and 32, were detained. The syndicate, which has been operating for the past year, was involved in promoting various online games through WeChat and Facebook applications. They targeted customers in Australia and Bangladesh and successfully generated income of up to 1 million ringgit per month. In the second raid at a luxury condominium in Bayan Baru at 1:30 p.m, police arrested 4 local men aged 21 to 33. The syndicate used the condominium as a call centre for online gambling activities, targeting customers in Australia. Police seized various computer equipment, 32 mobile phones, internet modems, notebooks, closed-circuit television, CCTV cameras and 9 cars, all valued at over 700,000 ringgit. All 13 individuals detained have no criminal records and are currently in remand to assist in the investigation. The case is being investigated under the Common Gaming Houses Act 1953.
But that Nightline draws to a close. Before we leave, let's take a look at visuals of Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandariah's special royal visit to Media Prima Berhad's Sri Pentas. With that, I'm Anita. Thank you for tuning in and be well, Malaysia.